Yeah, dude, the Twitch people can hear you like humming right now.
Shit.
Well, there's nobody on Twitch, but if there
Oh,
was people
good.
on Twitch,
I
they would hear you right now.
well, that's okay then.
So, what do you think, Eric? You think this guy right here is on for the next Deadpool movie?
Who the fuck is that?
That's T-Ray.
No,
Oh,
I think
I thought it was like Hipster Omega Red.
No.
We should probably tweet the link out. Wait, I can't find the YouTube
I
live
don't think
stream.
so.
Right?
Oh,
Remember
here we
that
go.
one?
Here we go.
Let's get the star back.
He's only gone and
Name's
done it.
No,
That's who I thought.
40 seconds.
It's already
the
live.
final countdown.
Down. Da-da-da-da. Dude, I was playing what's it called? Until Dawn.
Ooh.
Is it amazing?
Scary as shit, man.
It looks pretty creepy.
I think I shit myself twice during the game.
You know it's a good show when you know it's good when you shit yourself.
Yeah, it's a good game. Yeah, Until Dawn.
Yeah, I've heard good things.
Oh, I'm hearing myself and I'm answering myself.
What the fuck is going on? So
That was me answering myself.
okay, we are about to go live. So if you want to get all your bullshit out the way now, please do. Let's filter out the bullshit now and then we can get into the show.
Damn wingos are scary, Longtar.
Okay. Okay, so we will chat for a few minutes, get all the giddiness out of our system, and then I will say the magical word, and I will go from being Billy Batson into being the maniacal host that you've all come to love.
Or hate.
Oh, hey, I'm infamous.
Load.
My time as Let's Chat host will go down in history. May not go down as good history or remembered history, but
Just
it's history.
Something.
At the time that Booster Gold had his own series, whether or not people bought it is a different matter. But it happened.
I bought it.
I'm sure you did. Yeah, Nick can't be with us today because he's very naked at the moment. If you saw his Periscope, you'll know that Nick lost all his clothes in the heat wave, it seems. So our thoughts go out to him.
Yeah.
So we'll just give everyone a few minutes to file in, find the seat. You know, it's like when you're at the cinema, and I don't know if you guys have this, but this is something our cinemas have started doing now: assigned seating. I know it's something that some places in America do, but some places don't.
There's one place in Texas near me that does, and one that doesn't. So
Yeah, I mean, all the local cinemas for me now all do it, and at first I didn't like it, but I kind of do now. But then
I like
again, yeah, it's handy, so it's okay in my book.
it's not a bunch of people randomly walking around anymore.
Yeah,
Fucking acting like. Then you get that one creeper guy who kind of like sits in the middle of you and all your friends. It's fucking weird.
yeah, that's why I'm not allowed to go to the cinema on my own anymore. Today I picked up a book on Winston Churchill, and just opening it, there is no words in the book. It's literally just pictures of him.
That's kinky.
You know what? I'm gonna have the best bath I've ever had later.
Oh god. Can you send that over my way when you're done?
Oh, that'll be a separate live stream. That'll be the 500 subscriber special.
Nice.
So just before we start the show, actually, I want to bounce some ideas around with everyone on the show, my panelists, my esteemed panelists, and everyone watching in the chat. So, as I'm sure you might know, I passed 500 subscribers the other day, and so me and Nick have been bouncing some... Fuck off, Erik. We've been bouncing some ideas for what we could do for a little celebration. We're thinking we might do next weekend, not this weekend, next weekend, we might do some sort of like live question and answer session. You can ask me questions about comics or why I can stand still for 2 hours without moving my face. And maybe I will move my face on the Q&A. We'll see. We don't know.
Maybe
Well,
we should have a channel Q&A.
what do you mean? Don't tell me what to do.
You say you're bouncing, so just screw you. Whatever.
I don't know. Well, I'm sure.
Do whatever the fuck you want, Owen.
You know what? It's worked. It's worked so far for me. So I will continue to do that.
I say you retire at 500.
Well, I've already passed it, so this show is over.
Yay! Next
Thanks
coming back.
for watching, everyone. Take care. I hope you enjoyed. No, don't leave. The show's not over. It's not even started.
Cheeky bastard.
So, who wants to do the honours of giving Bat God his counting? Don't all shout at once, people. Okay, well, Erik, can you please count me in and then say record and then say record at the end?
Okay. 39. 38. 37. 36.
Is this the
35.
the buy a shit
34,
for a booster gold issue per issue?
33, 32.
I'm just gonna go make some food. Just keep going.
30. 29. 28. 27.
This is for fucking real.
26.
I
25.
said 26 twice. Start over.
4. 3. 2. Record.
Hello and welcome to Let's Chat Comics Post-Crisis Edition. My name's Owen and I'll be your host for the evening, and you can find me on YouTube at Owen Likes Comics. Today is September 3rd, 2015, and I'm joined by the most esteemed panel I could possibly assemble with the limited budget I had. And I've been told I have to do it again. All of it.
Okay, I'll start counting down. 50. 29.
Your fucking fault, okay?
Okay, 5. 4. 3. 2. Record.
Hello and welcome to Let's Chat Comics Post-Crisis Edition. My name's Owen and I'll be your host for this evening, and you can find me on YouTube at youtube.com/OwenLikesComics. Today is September 3rd, 2015, and I'm joined by the most esteemed panel I could possibly assemble with the limited budget I had. Firstly, we have Alan Moore's best friend on the Mindscape. Finding him on YouTube at the Baron Von Comic Network, it's Mr. Erik Barron.
Buenos dias. Me llamo Gabriel.
How are you doing today, Erik?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm not too bad. And also, we have someone who's been blowing up on Twitter and YouTube this week with his reviews of Zodiac Star Force and Warren Ellis's Moon Knight. From El Cheapo Games and Comics, it's the one and only Mr. Jake Lionheart.
Howdy, everybody. I'm trying to take over everybody's channel. I started with Owen's. I'm now on Goldman's, and I'm going to come for yours next, Erik.
That's if I let you.
Yes, we are in the midst of our Jake-over this week. The Jake-over takeover.
We're jaking it right now.
Yeah.
Yep, we are jaking it. So I think we should swiftly move away from this. So the format for format for Let's Chat Comics is followed. We've all read at least 2 comics, and we'll take it in turns to deliver a spoiler-heavy review of each, and if we can recommend it. So Erik, we'll start with you.
Excellent.
If that's okay.
Sure.
Now, you've been reading Bat-mite number 4 this week, so
That is correct.
if you don't mind, tell us a little bit about what's going on there.
Bat-mite is part of this whole new DCU and content over continuity.
Wait, me? DC me?
DCU, yes.
Me? What about DCU?
You. DC
Everyone
me.
gets a DC.
Not me.
Can you get a DC?
And you?
You get a DC. Booster
the-
Gold?
No.
This is like the worst Abbott and Costello bit ever. They're rolling in their graves right now.
Okay, so Bat-mite. Issue number 4. It's called Gridlocked in the Past. It's about Gridlock and one of my favorite characters, the man that doesn't question time.
The man that continuity forgot.
Oh, that's rough, man. Booster Gold makes a surprise visit in this issue, and so we start off with Bat-mite, and he's trying to cook dinner, and his 2 buddies come home, and he makes a mess and destroys a photo album. It's very popcorny, this book. This is something not to be taken seriously. This is something just to kind of break up, at least for me, all of the Secret Wars and all of the serious stuff I read. I like to throw in a couple popcorn reads, as I call it. And this specific issue deals with Gridlock, and he's going all over time and stealing all these trophies. And not even real trophies, just stuff that a collector would collect. And he's getting all these things, and everything's in mint condition, and he's going to sell all these items. So basically, Skeets alerts Booster Gold about this, and they pay bat-mite a visit. And bat-mite changes his costume to the black and gold and calls him Black Gold. That's what they call it. It's ridiculous. It's a ridiculous episode. It was a ridiculous issue. And there's this giant fight scene. I don't really want to spoil too much because it's actually kind of a fun read. And you don't really get to see all these characters. Bat-mite has a limited run. Booster Gold doesn't have his own title right now. So it's kind of cool to see all these characters get in their comeuppance, which is great.
Yeah.
Basically, it's a popcorn read. The art is very fun. It's very bright colors, very vibrant, and if you like, if you either read a lot of dark and heavy stuff and you want to break up the cycle, I suggest you definitely read this. This is something I don't really. I have issues 1, 2, and 4 of bat-mite. It's something I don't really follow closely, but it's something I can just throw in the mix and break up all this crazy Secret War stuff that's going on, which is very nice. Yeah. So I definitely recommend it, especially if you enjoy a good laugh or two.
Fair enough. I mean, Jake, what do you think about this? Is this something you'd consider reading?
I'd probably check it out. Yeah, I've seen it floating around, and I've heard kind of like people, making fun of it, like who the heck cares about bat-mite? But I mean, I don't know. The dude looks kind of cute, I guess. So I guess just the way he looks. It's funny seeing like this little like cartoony guy palling around with like Booster Gold, and I mean the cover alone is pretty awesome. I mean, yeah. It's this cutesy little guy with Booster Gold, and you get the menacing villain in the background. So it just looks like it's gonna be fun. It's got like the whole Gridlock, but Grid is X'd out. So it looks pretty fun. Like I guess like what Erik was saying, like if you want just something just to, like popcorn, like just a little quick treat, and have a blast reading it. To me, it sounds cool. I would check it out.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think that sounds quite interesting. It's not something I would have considered buying, but I think you've sold me on it. I think maybe I might have to go pick that up.
It's definitely something you should definitely pick up. Not every issue, but once in a blue moon, you see it on the rack and you don't have a heavy leak of comics. Just pick it up. It's a fun read. It's very fun.
I think that was very much my week this week. With Secret Wars being delayed, I had a bit of a what do I get this week? So on that note, I picked up Future Imperfect number 5. If you haven't been reading this tie-in, it's basically a continuation of the 1993 story in where Maestro, who is a future version of the Hulk, rules over civilization. He's one of Doom's barons, but throughout the series, he's been trying to basically plot to overthrow Doom. And in issue 5, we learn that Rick Jones has been in possession of a destroyer suit, which he gives to Maestro, and despite Maestro kind of fearing that he's being tricked, he puts on the suit before learning that Rick Jones has summoned Doom. So Maestro's got this big destroyer outfit on, and then Doom shows up. And Doom is pissed, because that's his suit. And not only that, they're in his cave. That's Doom's cave. So Maestro and Doom go toe-to-toe, and basically the majority of the issue is literally just splash pages of Maestro and Doom punching each other. And that is the only reason why I bought this book. Because I have not read any of the other ones. I was just flicking through. I saw the destroyer suit. On the next page, I saw Doom show up, and I thought, shit, I should read this. So, and I think the artwork is really cool. In this, David Land does a tremendous job, showing just the action between Doom and Maestro. So anyway, Maestro begins to get the upper hand as Doom tries to reason with him, and he goes about as well as you can imagine, trying to reason with the Hulk. So Doom fires a disintegration blast, which begins to weaken Maestro, But then Maestro fires one back, so they're both firing heat vision at each other. So that's cool. With the two at stalemate, Doom attempts to bargain with Maestro, trying to talk him into joining forces and, becoming his right-hand man as sheriff. However, Maestro has a counter-offer. You die, and I rule. And then Doom is incinerated and killed. Maestro kills God King Doom. He blows him up. Doom is dead. Maestro's killed him.
Or does he?
However, the big reveal is actually that Rick Jones had tricked Maestro into entering a wishing well. And that basically, while he's in this pit, he's constantly just going to see visions of whatever he wants. And what he wants is to defeat Doom. And Rick explained to his granddaughter that Doom had assigned him to trick Maestro into it. And he's also told him to remain in the well with him for the rest of their lives. So I think this might be the last issue. It definitely feels like it. There may be one more. I don't know. But it seemed to wrap everything up nicely. I mean, it's not a story I've been following too much, but I thought the action looked cool. I'm kind of familiar enough with Maestro to understand what might be going on. And, from reading the main book, I kind of know where Doom's at. But what do you guys think about this? What do you guys think about Future Imperfect?
I enjoyed, again, these are one of the series I originally enjoyed. I enjoyed the original. And I've been reading this actually quite it's towards the middle of what I think is the best of the Secret War tie-ins. But it is. This issue was a good, just beat 'em up, great issue. So that's worth my money. It was nice. It was good to watch.
Yeah. Jake, any thoughts on Future Imperfect?
For me, this sounds cool. I definitely want to check out because I like it when you have like big splash plate pages of fighting and seeing the artists really get down and into their craft of seeing these behemoths like Maestro fighting God King Doom sounds cool. I thought it was funny when you're like, he killed Doom. I was like, he didn't kill Doom.
You have to remember though,
and then you know what I mean?
You have to remember though, I bought it and then read it in the shop. So
right.
I was flicking through reading it, and I was just like, shit. Next page, shit. Next page, shit. What is going on? Well, they almost got me.
Yeah, but I mean, it sounds fun though, man. It sounds really cool, and the idea of him being stuck in this wishing well, I guess, and it's just gonna be him constantly killing Doom, and
I think the memory's just gonna keep just repeating itself.
Yeah.
It's the last page you see is Maestro actually turns back into Bruce Banner, and he's this little decrepit old man, and he's in his wheelchair, and he's raising his arms in victory. He says, "I am the Maestro, I am king," and he's just on his own in this pit in the middle of nowhere.
yeah.
Oh, the Maestro.
Oh, the Maestro. His concubines can't save him now.
You know what this issue reminded me of? The last issue of Death of Superman. Just the big splash pages.
Yeah, I definitely see that. It was very similar the way, it was literally just an issue dedicated to two big dudes punching each other. Yeah. And, as nice as intricate Grant Morrison's stories are, there's always going to be a place in comics for big dudes punching each other.
Yep.
So, moving on to the second book that I picked up today, and Jake, I know you picked it up as well, so we can kind of take this from each end, is Deadpool vs. Thanos #1. It's going to be a fun book when the cover is just Deadpool running away from Thanos with him saying, "It was a joke, Marvel. I was joking when I said I wanted to fight Thanos." I probably don't need to say much more. And instead of giving too much about the story, I'm just going to say some really cool lines. But anyway, the book opens with two action figures, one of Deadpool and one of Thanos, with Deadpool discussing how him and Thanos go way back due to the love of death and chimichangas, something of which Thanos has no idea of. We're also told by Deadpool, of course, that this book takes place before the 2013 Marvel Now relaunch. So, after the introduction, we see Thanos beating the ever-loving crap out of Deadpool, who asks, "What makes you believe you can challenge a god?" To which Deadpool replies, "Cojones, my chin-ribbed friend." Spanish for wooden box, I think. We then cut back to yesterday, and Deadpool arrives on Doctor Doom's private island, murdering a hotel worker before saying, "God, I'm right in the middle of exposition. Figure the plot out now, Wednesday Warriors." Anyway, Deadpool breaks into Doom's hotel room and shoots him. Because this seems to be a recurring theme in the books I've picked up. Deadpool then tries to call Tony Stark, but Doom stands back up and fires back at Wade, launches it into the sea, and kills him. Deadpool then arrives in Purgatory sporting an afro and a mustache, and tells us his favourite part about a near-death experience is getting to be, and I quote, all up in death. Soon after, Deadpool goes face-to-face with a character known as Black Talon, who he mistakes for a chicken man. And he fights some zombies before learning that Thanos has kidnapped Mistress Death. So the pair come up with a plan that involves zombies, goats, and stealing Cable's spaceship, before Deadpool explains, "I'm an unkillable mutant merc who regularly outsells Superman." And in case you're wondering, he describes Superman as a violet dork who collects shiny rocks and whose brother looks like the love child of Spock, Rufy, and Wolverine. Which might be the best thing I've ever heard.
Some describe me as that.
You know what? I think that's a Twitter description for someone. So by the end of the book, we find out that Thanos hasn't actually kidnapped Mistress Death, but he's also looking for her. So the two decide to team up, and they're going to go around the galaxy trying to find her. Now, Jake, I know you've been smirking the whole way through. I want to get your thoughts. You're a much bigger Deadpool fan than I am. So tell us, what did you think about Deadpool versus Thanos?
I thought it was really fun. I thought the best line out of the whole book was when he, the Black Talon, it's funny he's called Black Talon, which sounds like a cool name.
Yeah.
But he literally is dressed in suit. He telling him, like, going after Thanos is he, come on, double dog. I'm an unkillable mutant merc who regularly outsells Superman. What should take a shot at Superman? I love it. But
Do you guys hear Nick? I'm really on the mindscape right now. There we go. I'm loving it.
Mindscape. Where's Owen? I don't know. He ended the call, so now he's making a different call.
We're streaming?
Are we streaming? Oh, let me see.
No.
Looks like it.
Nerd Feed's up on Twitch. And we're live on YouTube.
Yes, we are. We're on Twitch. Hello? What is going on? Okay. Am I on the right one now? I can't hear Erik. Can you hear me?
Hello?
Hello?
Okay.
Hello?
There we go. We're good.
Okay, Erik, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, I can hear you. Jake, are you there?
Yeah.
Nick, are you there? Okay, what's going on?
We got 30-second countdown going up.
Okay. Yeah, we're back live on YouTube. Twitch is still offline, it says.
I'm on Twitch live.
Okay, I should just probably refresh it and we're okay. So we are
We have
good to start
Show
again
go-
in a second.
show goes live in 1 minute and climbing.
And climbing?
Yeah.
I can't work with these numbers. Who do you think I am?
Longtar, can you hear us there in the chat?
Yeah, I think I know where we are. We'll be
Future imperative. There we go.
okay. Okay. Yeah. Should we act like nothing ever happened? Like what happened? Okay. Record. So, Jake, I know you've been a big fan of Deadpool for a long time, and you said before that you picked up this series. So, what's your thoughts on Deadpool versus Thanos?
I enjoyed it. I thought it was fun. Seeing Deadpool being beat to a bloody pulp at the very beginning of the book was pretty awesome. Especially how
seeing
gnarly
him,
it looked.
splattered into a puddle.
Yeah, he was just a pancake of a person with like ribs poking out and stuff like that. My favorite line is a dig on Superman. He's saying, like, all things considered, he's like a messed up mutant merc, and he outsells Superman. So obviously the book's going to be good. The story's going to be good. And yeah, it's just a blast. I think if you like Deadpool, you can just jump back in it.
Yeah.
I think I heard somebody was saying that they thought it was interesting that like Secret Wars isn't over, but this is already a #1, so that's kind of interesting. But we're probably gonna get a whole bunch of #1s before Secret Wars is over. So
This is supposed to be a miniseries.
Yeah,
yeah, it's only like a 4-part thing. So
as like
jump on. It's just gonna be like either that, like get all 4 issues, or wait for the trade. But I mean, with 4 issues, you might as well just grab
you
them.
might as
when
well
they
just get
come
the
out.
single issues. I mean, like
Yeah.
Erik was saying before about bat-mite being just kind of little palate cleanser from what's going on in Secret Wars, and for me, I'm reading both Secret Wars and Action Comics, so there's quite a lot going on in both. Books like this, it is a nice little, step back and just, it's okay. It's like it's a warm hug. I have 2 big books that I'm reading, a lot of mediocre books that I'm reading, and then there's this, and then there's 1872, which are just cuddling me in the night and telling me it's okay.
It's okay.
So, Erik, did you get a chance to read Deadpool versus Thanos?
I did not.
You did not?
No, unfortunately, I didn't. I threw it. You know what it is? I'm reading so many books right now.
Yeah.
And I have it, and it's just sitting right there. And I'm going to dig into it very soon. I knew you, Owen, were going to review it, and it's Deadpool versus Thanos. So
Yeah, the name alone.
I know it's going to be.
You know what to
excellent.
expect from Deadpool versus Thanos.
Like, I'm a big Deadpool fan myself, so I actually reread Suicide Kings today. So
Yeah. Nice. I think I do think the best part from the issue is seeing Deadpool go to purgatory with a perm and a mustache. As I compared it to you before the show, he looks like Lionel Richie Pool.
Yeah, he totally goes into like pimp mode, and he's got the mustache and everything, and it's like his little fantasy of being with death, and it's pretty psychedelic.
Oh yeah, it's very 70s. I was expecting to have a medallion and an open collar.
Yeah.
But anyway, I know one of the books Jake was telling me about earlier was 50 Years of S.H.I.E.L.D. Mockingbird #1.
Yeah.
Now that I've gotten that mouthful of a title out of the way, Jake, why don't you let us know what you think about this book, and why don't you tell us what the hell's going on?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's funny that it's like the 50 Years of S.H.I.E.L.D., and I mean, essentially it's Mockingbird #1. Like with the picture, and pretty much gives you a recap as though you were reading her shield file, so to say. And pretty interesting stuff. I mean, It says she's a scientist, she's a superhero, she's a spy. Barbara Bobby Morse has done it all. And it says that she was originally mentored by biochemist Wilma Calvin. And then, she served on the Avengers. And,
guys, Jake, hate to cut in. You got to restart Mockingbird. We kind of lost the feed.
I think we're back.
Yeah, we lost the feed on Twitch.
Oh.
Crud. What is going on? This is meant to be my goodbye as a host show.
I think this is like
Nick sabotaging me.
That's what I think was happening.
He's like, fuck this guy. Thinks he can host the show.
I'll show him errors.
I'll show him.
Man. I don't know.
So, for anyone who's not familiar with the character of Mockingbird, tell us a little bit about the character's backstory and who they are.
Yeah, so Mockingbird is a scientist, a superhero, a spy, and she was originally mentored by a biochemist named Wilma Calvin. And she's been on the Avengers, on like 3 different Avenger teams. Apparently she was killed, because it lets you know in her little file here when you first start the book.
Oh, that's handy.
She was killed, of course, because everybody gets
the
killed.
fact file. I was talking about the fact file, not her getting killed. That's probably not that handy.
Okay.
But
okay.
that makes her a real...
And that's brilliant.
Super.
Everybody dies.
Yeah.
Everybody dies, but everyone comes back.
Exactly.
Unless your Uncle Ben.
I'm pretty sure with Adrian Palacki and
We're not live yet.
Not yet. So, is everything alright, ma'am? Hello, Twitch.
We're not live on Twitch.
I'm preparing.
I'm getting the commercial, so
Oh, we seem to be back on YouTube.
we're a commercial.
And we seem to be back on Twitch. And we're back.
Yeah.
That was our second commercial break. So we're back from our second commercial break, and Jake's going to tell us a little bit more about what happens in Mockingbird #1.
You know, we need that ad money. I'm sorry.
Do you know how hard it was to assemble this team on a budget? Now, if you click those ads, just watch the ads. Think about the team I could assemble. Fuck these guys.
Well, at this point, it's what Nick can assemble, because this is it, man. This is your nail in the coffin, so to speak.
And look what I'm doing.
So.
I'm taking the show down with me. Damn it. This is all of it from the inside.
If I'm going down, I'm taking everything down with me.
I'm ripping the walls. I'm taking the carpet.
Yeah. So, Mockingbird, 50 years of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Sweet.
It's I think it's really good. It's a really good story. The art is really good in it. The one thing I want to mention is that the character Bobby Morse says is at the beginning is that she notices patterns, and like patterns are this big deal. And if you pay attention after she says that, you obviously see it in the artwork everywhere. Like, it's the blanket pattern, it's the wallpaper pattern, it's the floor pattern. And it kind of shows you, like, yeah, she's like a really good agent, and yeah, she has this mystery serum that's pumping through her veins that brought her back to life. What they kind of hint at, it might be a mixture of super soldier serum and the infinity serum.
Right.
So makes it pretty intense. And essentially the plot of the book is it's revolving around the death of her mentor, Wilma Calvin, who was a big shot with S.H.I.E.L.D. and apparently was murdered. And so she tries to go in, try to find out, who done it. She's got a pretty good idea who it is, because only guilty people wear Gucci loafers.
That is a true fact, actually.
Yeah. So overall, it to me was a really fun story. It was really cool getting to. I haven't fully caught up on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., the show, so I'm not entirely sure what Adrian Palacki is doing on the show. But from what it looks like, she's doing really good. I know they were talking about getting her a spin-off show. I don't know if that was greenlit or not, but I know that was in the rumor mill
I think
at one point or another. Oh, it was greenlit? Okay, so she's doing good. Yeah. I liked her in John Wick. She did a really good job in that movie.
Yeah.
And so this story, like, it's just, solidifying a really cool female character. And showing you that she's smart and that she's not just using her like super serum, I guess. Like she's noticing patterns, and there's this really funny joke where she says like she has like psychic abilities, and what it is actually like she's just so kind of clever that she can catch patterns and catch these people lying, or catch what their pattern is going to be, like what they're going to pick based on patterns. So it's pretty interesting. The only thing I didn't like was everything seems to be building to like an action lead up. And to me, it kind of fell flat. It's almost like she gets knocked out. When she wakes up, she's strapped down and it's kind of like, well, we're going to extract the like serum from you and experiment on you. And essentially she just like kind of like hulks out and rips her, restraints and saves the day. And it was just kind of like, that was super anticlimactic. Like, I just felt like there could have been more. I mean, I guess there really didn't need to be, because I mean, that's how you're finding out about like what exactly is in the serum. And it's more than she's just like it being more than just she's like a top trained agent. But I don't know, to me, it felt like it could have gotten a little bit, could have gone off, I guess, a little bit better. Not that it was bad, but it kind of felt lackluster, I guess.
Yeah.
And it ends kind of like in the same way it starts, and just kind of it's emphasizing that like she's going to use patterns and deduction, and it kind of has like the CSI vibe to it. So it seems like it's going to be just like this like pretty like, smart CSI type show, vibe going with it. So I don't know if maybe that's what the show is leaning towards.
Maybe.
This is just to get like fans and people ready for it. The interesting thing about this book is once that story ends, there's an introduction to this new character by the name of Red Widow.
Oh.
Ooh.
And I was kind of excited because I remember seeing like these articles about like, oh man, there's this new introduction of a brand new character and kind of has like all original roots, and like it's going to be pretty awesome. And I felt like that fell off. Like the character does seem cool. She's supposed to be like this Russian mafia like orphan that somehow gets like taken in by SHIELD when she's like 5. So all she's ever known is like living in a SHIELD safe house. And so she gets all this training, all this other stuff, and you slowly through the story find out that like she's like this like splitting image of Black Widow.
Right.
It's like mirroring, like it's almost just like she says something in her panel and Black Widow's on a mission, and the next panel it's the exact same, like either verbiage, move, punch type of a deal. Really? And so I'm just thinking like this just feels like she's a clone. And I just can't help but think like, how is this in the new original character if it's just a clone of Black Widow? Or her power somehow makes her, I don't know, she sees, like a taskmaster. She's seen Black Widow once, and then now she's got like, oh, now I'm Black Widow. So to me, that really fell off, especially with like the buildup of this, like this brand new female character everybody's going to love, and she's all original.
But she's
and
not.
Then it kind of like ends with this like, there's this new book called Black Widow Forever Read by Margaret Stoll. So it's kind of like the pitch for that book. Like, if you like this story, find out more about the Red Widow in this new novel. Not graphic novel, new novel.
Novel?
I think it's a novel.
It doesn't have pictures?
No.
Deadpool just put out a novel. Not Deadpool himself, but there was a Deadpool novel that just came out.
That sounds incredible.
Oh, it's great. It's called Pause, and it's about him and a dog. Highly suggest.
Why aren't we talking about that?
Because it's like 300 pages.
So we could all take a character each.
It's sort of the Let's Chat book club, man.
You know what?
We do Let's Chat book club.
We already have a book report. Maybe we'll start reading actual books on it. You never know.
Maybe Jake, I'm sorry,
Yeah.
but Jake, you know what that sounds like? The Red Widow? It sounds like they're kind of mentally linked
Yeah.
somehow.
Maybe, yeah.
Maybe she's an Inhuman and they're kind of psychically linked or something.
Possibly.
That's interesting. Yeah, because but the artwork and stuff like that. My first thing was to think it's a clone. I hope it's what you're saying because I'd rather see that than just see a Black Widow clone.
Yeah.
But like it's she's Russian, Black Widow's Russian, and she was trained by Shield, of course. Black Widow's trained by somebody entirely different. But the whole thing that trained to be like these agents and stuff like that. And the fact that like the whole fighting stance is the same. Even like I said, like some of the verbiage was the same. But the thing that's interesting about it is the Red Widow kind of resents Natasha Romanoff. That apparently, like Natasha Romanoff saved her back when she was a kid, so she does have memories of that. And then kind of Natasha Romanoff was like, "Hey, if you ever need help, you can call me." And I guess she never followed up on that. So she resents the Black Widow. And it was kind of like the only thing the Black Widow taught me was you can't trust anybody. You have to save yourself because there's nobody you can depend on. Yeah. And then kind of starts doing the sketch. And kind of there's a little foreshadowing towards the end because she's like an artist. So she's like sketching stuff. And then she kind of like, if you can imagine like the Black Widow symbol, but then has like some extra stuff on it. And then the next scene is like her like, battle posed out and stuff like that. So what it would be like. So it kind of leaves you like, well, this could be good. It's just, I don't know. Like my first gut instinct was like, it's a clone. So I'm hoping that, Marvel starts throwing Erik some money and we get his idea published instead. But we'll see what Margaret Stoll does with it because apparently it's already written out. So
right. Well, it'll be interesting to see what goes on there. I mean, it's definitely, when I first started researching about what this was, that was the first thing that jumped out to me, that they were introducing a character called Red Widow. So, I don't know, I think maybe Marvel does have some plans for this character, and maybe it'd be interesting to see in what direction they do take this character, because it definitely seems like they have a lot of different directions. So, I know a lot of you guys are quite enjoying indie comics at the moment. I, unfortunately, the fact that I go to a very small-time bookshop, they don't really get many indie titles in. It's quite hard for them to receive indie books, which is a shame. But as I mentioned earlier, Jake, you did an episode of Cheapo Depot all about Zodiac Star Force, which it got, it got the creators saw that, the creators liked it. So you're getting a bit of good publicity. And now you're going to tell us about another indie title you're reading. So, Jake, what is Lady Mechanika?
I have no idea. No, I'm kidding. Lady Mechanika is pretty much a steampunk story, which steampunk sounds cool to me, but I've never like found anything that was just like, hey, you should read this, or this is awesome, steampunk. So, I think it's a fluke that I found it because mostly it was I was bored, and so I was playing on the free section of Comixology.
Oh.
And issue number 0 is free, and issue 0 is awesome. Like I was blown away by it. I like at first I'm like, I don't know how the steampunk stuff is gonna play out. And then it's, obviously, like, I guess everything steampunk is, like, Victorian era, but they've got, like, robot arms, and they use steam instead of electricity. So I'm like, I'll give it a shot. Mostly because if you look at, like, the covers are gorgeous. And it's written by this guy, I think it's Joe Benitez.
Yeah.
And this dude does everything. Like, he writes it and he draws it. I think the only thing he doesn't do is he doesn't color it and he doesn't do letters. But everything else, he's the guy doing it. I know, right?
Gotta do everything.
Can't get
Frank Miller did everything in Dark Knight Returns.
So, but like, I gotta say though, his art style, like something about it reminds me of like Jim Lee, or like that old X-Men style, like the '90s X-Men.
Okay. Yeah.
There's just some of them, not all of it, but there's certain like poses, and you're like, this really feels like an X-Men like drawn book.
Yeah,
And
I can see that. It is a very 90s Jim Lee-esque kind of
yeah, or
art
maybe even
style.
like who was it? Is it the Darkness? I don't know who drew that, but kind of has like that vibe to it, or maybe even a little bit of Spawn. Definitely has a '90s vibe to it,
Yeah, it
and
does.
so that's what caught my eye. And so I'm like, it's free, I'll check it out. And the story is pretty much about the lady Mechanika or Machinica or however you say her name. She was found after this like serial killer went through the turn of the century England, and she was found locked up in a room with all kinds of dead bodies, and apparently her limbs were amputated and replaced by machine parts. And she's
Nice.
a kid that doesn't have any memories or anything like that, so that's pretty intense. She ends up growing up and becoming a private investigator. Takes on the jobs that the police can't take care of or don't want to handle,
Mm.
and just trying to find out who she is through this. Joe Benitez has got he's got the first run done already. I'm just pretty much trying to play catch up now. So he's got all the way from 0 to 6. I think
Wow.
0 to 6 or 0 to 5.
Right.
And then he's got like a side story that's about 4 issues deep now called The Tablet of Destinies. So there's already, I guess, 2 graphic novels worth of stuff.
Nice.
And it's pretty interesting. Yeah, the issue 0 I was reading, and it kind of gives you, it starts, kind of like slowly building you into the lore of the story. But there's a moment that happens. I don't want to ruin this because anybody can get it. It's free. So get issue 0 and you'll see what I'm saying. But it gets you in, and then something happens in it that I was like, oh my God, like what just happened? And like I was sucked in from that moment. And yeah, I mean, I would totally recommend this. If all steampunk is like this, then I might be interested in it, to be honest with you. The thing that's really interesting about this creator, though, is I've got the free 1-0 and I've got number 1. At the end of it, he has like baking goods
What?
that you can.
What?
Yeah, like in the first one, he's got like it's the steampunk kitchen or steampunk kitchen or whatever, like the putting it together. You can have Mechani cookies and steampunk tarts. It gives you the recipe, and they look kind of delicious, to be honest with you.
Well, you know what? Keep that to one side when we do our Let's Bake.
Yeah, when we do Let's Bake. And then in the second one, he's got one of the characters' name is Ucky, so Ucky apple pies and jeweled buttons.
Ooh.
Well, buttons.
We all know I love buttons.
So I'm just like, wow, this is actually pretty fun that he's got like his whole lore that he's inventing, and he even has treats for you to eat after you're done reading the story. So it's pretty good. And the first issue kind of delves back into, the first one is just kind of a setup of she's trying to find out who she is.
Yeah.
She meets a character that might have the secrets to who she is. And then the first issue kind of deals in like, okay, now they're showing villains who she's going to have to end up taking care of, and kind of more of Lady Mechanika looking for answers to who she is by solving, crimes and stuff like that. So it's pretty interesting, and she looks like she's a badass. Like her art design is cool because she's wearing these like crazy Victorian era outfits, but then she's got these really cool guns that she's using. They really haven't shown too much of what she can do, but I'm pretty sure probably by like the second issue, there's probably going to be a cool action sequence, and probably enjoy the story even more. I mean, he's done so good. He's already got 2 runs of the story, so I'm imagining people are buying it and enjoying it. So, and so far I have been too. So that's Lady Mechanika.
It sounds really interesting, actually. It's not something I'd heard of before you mentioned it today, but that sounds really cool, actually. And if it's free, then maybe I'll have to go get it.
Yeah, just jump on Comixology, man. It's I think, yeah, just type in Lady Mechanika. It's number 0, and yeah.
Awesome. So I think what more could you want? The guy writes it, he draws it, and he'll bake you a treat afterwards.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah, that sounds like a good friend. So before we get into our last topic of the show, Erik, what do you make of Lady Mechanika?
I'm definitely going to check out the free issue on Comixology, and if it sounds as good as Jake described it, I'm going to probably pick this series up.
Sweet. So in our last topic of the day, Erik, you've also got an indie title picked out for us in the form of Images, Dying and the Dead. Now, this is a series written by Secret Wars writer Jonathan Hickman, and I've heard fairly good things about this book. But please tell us all about Dying and the Dead.
Okay, so let me premise this. I've been following this since issue 1, and issue 1 came out in January.
Okay.
And then 4 months later, in April, the second issue came out.
Oh.
And now 6 months later, September, we get the third issue. If you can see a trend of...
So when Secret Wars isn't getting delayed, this is getting delayed?
Yes.
Damn it, Hickman.
Damn you, Hickman. And I
Hickman.
hate to give a negative review on this book, but I don't want to wait like almost 9 months to get through the first 3 titles of a book.
That's getting in All-Star Batman territory now.
I think it's even worse because you expect so much from Hickman.
At least you know Miller's stuff's going to be garbage.
Yeah. Like when Miller picks up a book, you know it's going to be delayed at least a couple months. That's kind of like the given. But like each individual issue is excellent. The drawing is beautiful by Ryan Bodman? Bodenheim, thank you. I screwed that up big time. So this book takes place over 3 different time periods.
Okay.
3200 BC.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember that.
1944.
I don't remember that.
No, you don't remember that. There's a war going on then. And 1700 BC.
No,
So
I think I was asleep for that.
You fell asleep. So we're spanning in this book from the time of the pharaohs to World War II with the Axis of Evil to the cavemen, and it's really since I want to start off and say I love the first 2 issues of this, if I remember them correctly, because it's been 9 months. And but reading this, I felt like unsatisfied. Just like I've been thrown through the ringer. I picked up the first 2 issues and had to wait so long for this.
Yeah.
I didn't feel. I felt like the art is beautiful. Just the colors and how some of it's just whited out. It's just it's pleasing for the eyes. And during the 1944 parts, it's pretty much all in black and white, except for a few things that are in red. Important things that are in red.
Cool. That reminds me of the Steven Spielberg film.
Exactly.
Schindler's List.
The one kid in the red jacket.
Yeah.
It's very that's what I thought of when I went through this. So basically, they're telling the story of this weapon that made you the leader of the world at the time, and it's really hard to like this because it's very plagued with delays, and Hickman already said that this book is probably going to be delayed another 6 months.
What?
For the 4th issue.
Jesus.
So, like, I don't think I could wait a year between 2 issues.
I mean, is it good? I know it's taken a long time for issues to come out, but when you get a new issue, is it good?
It's good, but it's not satisfying because you got to wait another 6 months to read the issue.
So is it not worth the wait, would you say?
It's not worth the wait. It's visually appealing, and I say in a year or so when the trade comes out, I'd pick up the trade.
Okay.
Just because, there's just beautiful scenes. The art alone, it's worth the trade. But it's very unsatisfying. You have to wait 6 months, 4 months, another 6 months for 4 issues to come out.
Yeah.
You know? So I think I'm dropping this title.
That's a shame, because it does actually sound like it has the potential to be a really fun book.
It really is. And I don't want to spoil anything, because I really do believe that if you pick up the trade, you're going to be thoroughly enjoyed.
Yeah.
But it's something that really bothered me when I saw that this issue came out. I'm like, when was I remember reading this, but I don't remember the last time. And I looked it up online. I was like, 6 months ago.
Wow.
This came out. I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, Secret Wars to even start.
What were you doing, Hickman?
Hickman was doing nothing. Hickman was, I think he was writing Fantastic Four, right? A year ago? 9 months ago?
You'd be doing Time Runs Out then.
Time Runs Out, yeah.
Yeah.
So I definitely recommend a pass till the trade comes out. It's definitely worth the trade. They're each like 60 pages each, so you get kind of bang for your buck.
But you don't
Wow,
get.
yeah.
That's what?
That's a page. It's 10 pages every month. You have to wait.
So what? A page every 3 days?
So there's really no way I can justify you guys going out and running and picking this up, because it's going to be another half a year before the next issue comes out.
But you do think maybe when the trade comes out, see what people are saying?
Yeah. And this, I get, like, if I just had to rate the issue alone, I'd give it like a 9 out of 10. It's just so beautiful and so beautifully written. But I can't. I really can't, because it took 6 months to get an issue out. That's kind of crazy.
That's ridiculous.
So I give it a pass and wait for the trade.
Yeah. So Jake, what would you Eric's told you about his opinions on this. There's someone that may not have read the book. What's your initial reactions to this?
Man, this is sad. It sounds super awesome.
Yeah.
And it'd be cool to see what Hickman does. I mean, this is all original stuff, right? So
Yeah.
to see like, okay, we see what you do with characters we love. Now let's see what you do with your own characters. And the art and everything sounds great, man. That just sucks. Like 6 months, like
6 months.
Man, like waiting for like a movie to come out. Like I'm waiting for like the Deadpool movie to come out in February. To me is like crazy. But if they'd be like, no, you gotta wait another 6 months, like I'd probably start setting stuff on fire, like trying to make it happen. Like
I forgot I had this in my pull list. That's how long it's been.
Wow.
Yeah, because you're like, what is this junk? And you're like, number 3. Like
Number 3.
like a completely different series.
I literally had to go online. I'm like, when was this first issue come out? Because it's run issue 3, and I was like, 9 months ago. That's insane.
Crazy. I think honestly, I think I'll wait for the trade then, because I don't know. I would love to see what else Hickman can do. I mean, we've seen what he's doing in Marvel, and the way you're talking about the art, like that to me, I love the art in the book. So to see like a scene where it's like black and white, but only like you know what I mean, like you're saying, like it's cinematic. It totally took you into something Spielberg did. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like that to me sounds so awesome, and it sucks that it's like, no, you've got to wait 9 months. You got to wait 6 months.
It's great how the artist did it, because it's like one panel is a red background with everything else in black and white, all the characters, and then it switches up and it's just one item in red. Everything else is a black and white, and then everything turns black and turns red. It's really cool, and it's really appealing as someone who enjoys art to just browse through this book alone, just swiping through, look at art.
I'm just looking at pictures of the art now on the internet, and that's so cool. I'm just looking at, I don't know which issue it's from, but it's 3 panels. The first one it's a woman talking, it's all in black and white. And then the second one is a big fight scene, someone's got a knife, some guy's wielding 2 guns, and basically it's almost all in red, and then we cut back to outside a cafe, and everything's black and white except for a woman wearing a red dress. And I think from an artistic standpoint, that kind of color scheme is incredible.
And it's really frustrating that it takes 6 months to get an issue out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I would even go in it. It's basically, this is the weapon. If you wield this weapon, because the time jumps in a weird order, you see it all throughout history. So you see it through the cavemen. You have this lady in white controlling all the cavemen at her disposal as warriors. And then it jumps to the axis of evil dinner, where you have a Russian general, Hitler, and a Japanese general. And they're all talking about, we need to do this to put this weapon together because it's broken down in 3 separate parts to control everything. We'll be the rulers of the world. And then it jumps to Egypt with a pharaoh wielding the original weapon, which is a giant hammer. It's almost like Thor's hammer. It's almost like Beta Ray Bill's hammer.
Okay.
You see how this weapon's too powerful. We need to break it in 3 separate pieces. And then it was really cool. Like, the whole concept is amazing, but I can't justify 9 months between issue 1 and issue 3.
Yeah, I mean, I don't blame you. I mean, just looking at it myself, I think this book reads. It does look cool. It does sound cool, but I'm not waiting 9 months for a new issue. As cool as it looks, I can't wait that long for a new issue. And it's sad to say that because I think it looks really good. I think if Hickman wasn't writing for Marvel right now, maybe, and maybe when he's finished with Marvel, then maybe he'll pick back up with it. But I don't know. I mean, what do you guys? What do you think, Jake?
Literally the last page. I'm sorry, Jake. Literally the last page is a letter from Jonathan Hickman apologizing for the wait and apologizing for more delays.
Really?
Yeah.
That's grim. That's really grim.
Because he says blame Marvel.
Fuck Feige. Blame
He's
Ribbit.
like, sorry, kids. God King Doom is keeping my hands tied up right now.
It's all Ribbit's fault.
Yeah. I don't know. It's kind of interesting, but yeah, man, that sucks. 9 months, 6 months. I mean, at least he's being cool and telling you, like,
yeah, at least he's upfront about it. But that's not gonna.
It still sucks, man. That's just like, I've got all kinds of other issues and stuff I can pick up, and to me, it really says something if you forget it's in your pull list. Like, that's like, you're like, what in, like, what is this? Like, somebody accidentally dropped this in my pull list. Like, what's going on? Like, is it a freebie? And then you're like, wait, no, I'm paying for this. Like, what is it?
Like Hickman. But yeah. Like, it's unfortunate. It's one of these series that are not gonna. It's really critically acclaimed issue by issue, but I feel it kind of falls by the wayside commercially because of the long gaps in between each issue.
Yeah. That's a shame, though. It does sound like that's a shame that the book's having such trouble.
I just don't know what it is. Is it just, He said in 2016 they'll go back to a month-to-month basis.
Well, that's because he's finished with Marvel then, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, but maybe if he knew that he was going to be so much work with Marvel, why didn't he just wait and release this book in 2016?
I think he kind of started it right before the whole Secret Wars,
right.
With that getting delayed a lot.
Yeah, I think that's probably played into this quite a bit.
I think this is just kind of the victim of that extra issue and the art delays with... Well, I'm not complaining about the art delays for Secret Wars because it's just beautiful.
Yeah, it really is.
I'd rather them take their time, but I feel like this book's kind of a casualty of that.
Yeah, which is sad. So, that was the last book we've got to talk about today. But you guys have probably picked up a lot more books than I have this week. So, if there's any books you quickly just want to shout out and say that you thought was quite good or you thought was not quite good, now is the time. The floor is yours, gentlemen.
I didn't. The only 2 books I got was the Mockingbird one and Deadpool versus Thanos. I actually had got that lady Mechanika like the week before, I think, or at least I got the issue 1. So I was just like, I think this, since you're covering Deadpool, I figured, hey, I throw in an indie book. But I heard an interesting one. I think it's called Plutonia.
Plutonia?
Okay.
I was talking to Nick V, our good buddy Nick V, and he told me he got it, and he said it's supposed to kind of be like, it's Jeff Lemire, and it's kind of like a Stand By Me with superheroes, I guess.
Ooh.
So I was like, you've got me sold. I'm like, I went to like Nostalgia Station and grabbed the first ticket because I was like, hey, I remember Stand By Me.
I love that film.
And that sounded cool to me. And then I don't know if it was because it didn't feel like it was that long. He immediately messages me back and says, meh. He's like, I think he's like, as much as I love Jeff Lemire, I think this might be a wait to trade.
Oh.
So, but like just the way he pitched it, like it's like Stand By Me and superheroes. I'm like, that sounds pretty awesome. And he told me there was a really cool aspect too, because like Stand By Me, they're looking for a dead body.
Yeah.
So I guess this one has a dead body involved too, and it kind of shifts points from the main character to the dead body. I think he said was kind of how it worked.
Oh, okay.
And so it's like you're getting this kind of like behind the scenes look at what's going on in the story. And so it still sounds cool, but he said it was kind of meh, kind of lackluster. So I don't know if anybody else in the chat's read it, but I mean, let us know if you agree with Nick V or not. I just thought I would shout him out, and because he got to me real quick. He's like, dude, have you heard about this one? I'm gonna check it out. And I'm like, dude, tell me if you liked it so that I could go get it. And now I'm like, I don't know if I want to get it now. Yep.
Providence #4 came out today.
What's that about?
Oh, it's Alan Moore's new project.
Oh God, don't save it for more and more, Erik. Save it for more and more.
And some cool trades came out. I'm big into the trades, so those came out.
Yeah. So
I was gonna pull Alan Moore's hypothetical lizard and talk to you guys about it, but that's super inappropriate. Pulling out his hypothetical lizard.
I was waiting for you to let me know on the Mindscape.
Did anyone read Aliens vs. Vampirella?
No, but I finally did get around to reading Archie versus Predator.
Oh yeah?
They had issue 1. That's how many indie comics they have. That was the only one they had. Just Archie vs. Predator #1 on the stands. So I was like, I have to I'm not even buying it. I just need to flick through it. That looked like the best thing ever.
Oh, it's amazing. It's cheese.
I'll be getting that on trade.
Get the trade. It's really good.
I look forward to that.
And you know what it is? It was a lot more DC books, a lot more DC and indie books came out this week than Marvel.
Yeah.
I read mostly Marvel. And I read a lot of indies, but nothing that we can just jump right into, unfortunately. Everything's like way deep in series and stuff.
Yeah. It's that kind of year, isn't it? Marvel's right in the middle of Secret Wars, and DC, I know the whole DCU thing was meant to be a good jumping on point, but I feel like the changes that they've made to the characters have made it kind of hard to jump on. Like, you can't just jump into Batman right now.
No, you can't.
And you can't kind of just jump into Superman right now.
Do you know what the real problem with that is? Is that there's multiple titles of Batman and Superman.
Yep.
And if, I'm coming in as a new reader, that would confuse the hell out of me.
Yeah. Yeah, it really would. Like, you go to a comic book shop and you'll see, for me being someone that's recently started reading Superman books, you'll find Action Comics, Superman, Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, Justice League of America, and in all 6 of them, something different's going on.
Yeah, and with Batman especially, that there's different Batmans in each kind of one.
Yeah. So you'll pick up a Batman book. In one book, Bruce Wayne's Batman. In one book, Jim Gordon's Batman. And you're like, I don't know what's going on. Help me.
In one book, Tim Drake is Batman Beyond.
In one book, Dick Grayson is Batman.
And it's probably really confusing to new readers who are familiar with the animated show, because Terry McGinnis is supposed to be Batman in Batman Beyond.
Yeah, that's a good point. That I know they made the switch after Future's End that Tim Drake was going to be Batman in the future. But I guess, with them launching this title, I guess that will confuse long-time fans of Batman Beyond now.
And the timelines just don't kind of sync up.
The DC is refusing to admit that they even have a timeline. They're like,
They have all the timelines.
When did this book happen? I don't know. What's going on? I don't care. Read the books.
But the good
It's
thing
like
that
it happened on all the timelines and none of the timelines.
They're all happening now.
simultaneously.
Yeah, simultaneously.
But the cool thing is,
didn't Owen put a video on the whole rigmarole of what's going on at DC, and I think he had Scott help him out with it, as far as like trying to jump in on certain
That was a
so you guys want to check out Orum's channel. He's you can see what we're talking about with visuals and help from Scott from NerdSync.
yeah, that was a cool video. I enjoyed that. So I think we should wrap this episode up, maybe on a very somber note. So that'll do it for tonight's edition of Let's Chat Live Comics. I want to thank all the fine folks over at Nerdfeed and for everyone watching live on Twitch and YouTube. I want to thank my panelists for this evening. So Jake, where can people find you? And what are you working on?
Hey, you can find me on Twitter at Jacobs_Talkbox. You can find me on YouTube at El Cheapo Comics and El Cheapo Games. And I got El Cheapo Depot on Monday. I'm probably going to go into greater detail in the Mockingbird story.
Nice.
Just because I have a very hilarious bit that I thought of. And if I can pull it off, hopefully it's funnier like on a video than it is in my mind. Otherwise, I'm not going to release it. And I was thinking about doing Suicide Kings for I'll Trade You.
Ooh.
And I just feel like Erik talking about it just makes me want to do it that much more because I'm just like I think I was talking to you about it on your podcast. That's live today.
It is.
I mentioned Suicide Kings, and then Erik mentioned Suicide Kings, so I feel that's like
maybe we could do
the Lord and the universe telling me to do it. So
Yep.
maybe we could do a collab video on Suicide King.
hey,
See, this is history in the
now
making.
I can finally,
Can I come?
and then I can sync my chomps into your channel.
Can I come?
I'll totally. No, you can't come.
Can I come, guys?
It's just me and Erik.
Just me and Jake.
No,
Come on, guys.
You've got time, and you can't hang out with the big boys all the time, Owen. So
Sometimes you have to go back to the kiddie table.
I'll just go back to I'll just go back to making videos on my channel then. I'll go back to planning my 500 subscriber special.
yeah, we haven't you in or given you the gang tattoo yet. So until you meet the initiation rites, you got to go back to the kiddie table. Yep.
So Erik, on that bombshell, where can people find you, and what are you working on next week?
You can find me on Twitter at Baron Von Comics and on YouTube at Baron Von Comic Network. Right now, I'm working on a new schedule, so that's going to kick off next week because it's kind of crazy because I'm going to the amazing Houston Comic Con this weekend, starting tomorrow.
Make sure to get loads of pictures and videos for us.
Nothing but butt shots. You got it.
Just what I want. Make sure you periscope them butt shots.
But my new schedule is going to be More with More on Mondays. Tuesday, I'm going to have a Raw review for Monday Night Raw. Wednesdays, I'm going to have a Let's Play, and that's going to be on my Twitch channel, which I'll shoot out the link when I go live. And Thursdays, Let's Chat Comics, and Fridays is a new hashtag. So
nice.
kind of get into the routine of having a full week worth of videos. And
awesome.
Periscoping and all that great stuff.
I'm really happy to see that you two are really, you're trying to get more videos out, and they're really great. As I said on Monday's show, even if you weren't my friends, I still think you were dicks. But I'd still think you're making great content, and I stand by that. 3 days later, I stand by my decision. You know, I was watching Jake's video on Moon Knight earlier today, and you know, we've talked about it before. I'm a really big fan of Warren Ellis's run on Moon Knight, and it was something I was actually going to do for How and Why for the longest time. I had it penciled in, but after watching that video today, you know what? I thought, fuck, he's nailed it. That's better than I could do. So I'm not doing it now. So instead, I implore people, if you want to learn about Moon Knight, or if you want to learn about Warren Ellis, who is probably one of the best writers working today, if you want to see him write a really cool story, go check out I'll Trade You on El Cheapo Comics on Warren Ellis's Moon Knight. See? That's how you plug. And you can make sure to check me out at youtube.com/OwenLikesComics. New videos every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Today you can check out the Book Report podcast, issue number 2, with my special guest, who is one of those guys. I'll let you work it out.
It's me.
It's him. Let us all know what you thought about the show with the hashtag Let's Chat Live. And you can find all of us on Twitter at Owen Likes Comics, at Baron Von Comics, at Jacobs_Talkbox, and at GOLDMANvision. We'll be back on Monday with a brand new episode of Let's Chat Live Movies, with our regular host, Nick Goldman, finally escaping from Convergence. So until then, and this might be the last time I get to say it to you guys, but take care and keep reading. Good night. Oh. Do I have to get... No, it's fine. We can surprise them.
Owen's never going to be a host again. It'll just be Erik and Jake. It'll be the Erik and Jake show.
Wow.